For this video, we're going to take a look at Marvel Legends 12-inch series. This is the Iron Man action figure. Before we take the figure out of the box, let us first admire the art that is all over the box packaging. So this Iron Man action figure is 12.5 inches tall. So that is the height of the action figure. It comes with an alternate head unit of Tony Stark, an alternate handset, and repulsor blasts. So I took off the head unit from the action figure so we could really take a look at the head unit, because just as I mentioned before, head sculpts, they comprise about 40 to 45% of the total look of the action figure. So if you have a crappy head sculpt, it's going to affect the action figure, just like your G.I. Joe Classified series Lieutenant Falcon. Okay, so let us first get rid of these two items because we really don't need to take a look at the details of these two. Okay, so let's put them aside and let's take a look at head sculpt number 1. So this is the Tony Stark head unit, or the alternate head unit. So let's take a look at the Iron Man head unit. So really nice details, nice texture of color of the red, yellow, and the white paint on the eyes, and black paint on the mouth area. So each of the handsets that are included, or hand units I mean, would have this certain function. So aside from the hinge on each hand unit, we also still have this hinge on the protector. So let's take a look at the fists. So this is a detail of the fist, and just like the repulsor shooting hands, as you could see, that function. So whenever you articulate the handsets, this is going to give way to articulation. So same thing. So that's a really nice deal for this action figure. So great head units that were included. Now let's take a look at the action figure. So the design elements of this Iron Man action figure, well, portions of it are based on the cinematic universe, and at the same time it's a mixture of the comic book design. So especially on the foot, the forearms, and some areas of the body which really screams comic book material. But when you take a overall look at it, it really also screams MCU Iron Man. So great combination of comic book and cinematic universe design. So let's do once again a quick 360 of the action figure with Tony Stark in full suit format. So we're going to also use the head unit, the alternate head unit, later on. So as to paint job execution, 100%, no overlays or paint splashes or parts of the action figure that misses paint. And for a 3-year-old action figure, still, well, of course, depends on how the collector is going to take care of the action figure. So it's going to be in really great shape. So that is how I maintained this action figure for 3 years. So kept it in box, and when I want to play with it, that's the only time that I take it out of the box packaging to really admire the action figure and play with it. So let's put on the alternate head unit. Okay, so we have the alternate head unit of Tony Stark on this action figure. So the helmet now becomes an accessory. So let us do a quick 360 view of this action figure. Now with regards to proportion of the alternate head unit, is it too big, too small, or how does it proportion to the actual Iron Man head unit or the helmet? So as you could see, in this configuration or this display, the size of the helmet, you know that it's going to fit on top of that head. If this was a helmet that could be placed directly on top of the head, but as just as an accessory, proportions really have been thought well of, so it scales well with the total look of the action figure. So for a figure of this scale, how does it articulate? So it articulates just like your 6-inch Marvel Legends Iron Man action figure. Now, first things that are really honorable mention with regards to this action figure is the articulation points on the shoulder protectors. So those are fixed shoulder protectors on the action figures. They don't come off or they don't pop off. So it really is situated on a certain part of the ball joint that whenever you do movements, arm articulation, it's not going to pop off or hinder the articulation point. It stays well, and it really complements the action pose that you put this action figure to. So unlike your 6-inch versions, wherein the most problematic areas is just going to be this, but with this 12-inch version, it is not a problem. So moving back to the articulation point on the arms. So the arms could do a full 360 turn T poses. As you could see, we have a cut on the bicep for rotation of the bicep, 2 points of articulation for the elbow, and the elbow, as you could see, really bends well. We have a hinge for the handsets, which I already shown earlier, and rotation for the handsets. Now swapping out handsets, it's really easy. So just apply and pull. Just a little bit of pressure is needed to change handsets. So it's not a complicated figure unlike your 6-inch version. So really nicely engineered action figure, design, and overall concept. Okay, for articulation point on the body of this action figure, we don't have any articulation point on the waistline. So don't expect to have a cut on the waistline for rotation of the waistline. It's just going to be a ball on this abdominal point for multi-direction. So you could bend forwards, bend backwards, bend sideways. Now we also have a ab crunch for this action figure on this area, so which supports the articulation point on the abdominal area. So bending the figure forwards, as you could see, possible. Backwards, especially on a flight stance. So if you want to put this humongous figure in a flight stance, it's also possible. And just attach those included effects on the boot if you don't wish to attach them on the handsets as a repulsor blast. So let's move towards the articulation of the head. So nice sideways movement because it's on a ball articulation point, and for flight poses. So yeah, that's it. For looking down motion, so articulation on the head unit is really awesome. Now moving towards the legs. how much articulation points do we have on the leg. So we have 2 points of articulation on the knee. We also have a hinge and a rocker for the foot to support these kinds of stances. And for rotation of the thigh, so it's going to be located in this area. So actually you could see and hear that creak of that rotation point. So it's a really nicely articulating action figure. Details are really superb. And take a look at the details of that repulsor, that power system for Iron Man on the chest. So I just wish that that is going to glow, but well, at least we have details, nice details. We could see all of the details of the power unit. So regards to total design, if you see this at any of your local comic book shop, or for example you find it on eBay, this is really an amazing find, something that you could really add to your collection and enjoy. So it's an action figure, what I could already classify as an action figure classic. Okay, so the only issue with this 12-inch action figure is with regards to the plastic. So sometimes when you play with this action figure and light touches it or sunlight touches it, especially on the body of this action figure, you know that it's a hollowed out area. So collectors who had this action figure would really paint on this area to hide that aspect of that action figure. But for me personally, it's okay, because majority of the time of the lifespan of this action figure is just displayed on a shelf. So I don't need to tweak the paint, which is already in good condition. We have the Trinity of the Marvel Cinematic Universe: Tony Stark, Iron Man, Captain America, and Thor. So with regards to proportion, how do they scale with each other? Well, it's just really great to know the scale. Take a look at this. So we have a man in a Iron Man suit. So full suit of armor, which increases the bulk of Tony Stark and the height. So as you could see, compared to Steve Rogers or Captain America, he's a little bit smaller in proportion and with regards to height. So you know that Tony Stark is in a suit of armor, which increases his height and mass. So let's take a look at how does Thor compare to Iron Man. So with regards to height of the action figures and scale, really nice how they are scaled. So actually this is how I sometimes play with these 3 action figures. Put them on poses, take pictures, and at the end of the day they go back to the box so they won't get scratched up or be exposed to the elements. So this is something that I wish to keep for a very long time. So something nice to play with and at the same time to keep. So if you like this video, like, comment, and subscribe to help me grow my channel. And see you on the next action figure or custom action figure review.